All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started, I want to tell all of you thank you for your tremendous support. People are slowly but surely finding out about who we are and what we do. They enjoy and respect the passion with which we speak. But as we always say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we do this because we love it, as we are simply sharing our passion with you all as we continue to build our listening army to take over the world. Before we continue with our scheduled programming, we definitely had to just acknowledge some of the pioneers and icons that we've lost really in the last 2 months. First starting with the pioneer actor James Earl Jones, then the famous actor John Amos from the Good Times TV show, to NBA Hall of Famer and humanitarian Dikembe Mutombo. And folks, these are people that we watched growing up, people who were true icons of their profession, pioneers of their profession. But in the case of Dikembe Mutombo, a guy who used his talent, his riches here in the United States, and used that for the betterment of his people in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or formerly known as Zaire, and the names have bounced back and forth, and knowing that he's built hospitals, and he really studied to be a doctor. Well, a lot of people don't know, in Georgetown University, he studied to be a doctor, became a basketball player, and probably made as much money as one can possibly dream of in a lifetime to benefit his people. Definitely coming from that lineage of all the Georgetown big men, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, and Dikembe Mutombo. All three are in the Hall of Fame. And it's something where we definitely want to acknowledge these guys. John Amos, again, from Roots and Good Times and various other TV shows. James Earl Jones, the resume speaks for itself. If you go back and watch the Ice Cube movie Players Ball, there was a scene where the main antagonists of the movie, Roxy and Trixie, were arrested. And you saw a scene where you had Bernie Mac playing Dollar Bill. You had John Amos playing the Officer Freeman. You had Tiny Zeus Lister, a.k.a. Debo, playing XL the security. And Anthony A.J. Johnson, who obviously we know him as Ezell from the Friday movies, but he played, I believe, Little Man in that particular movie. Folks, all four men are all gone. Bernie Mac, he's no longer with us. John Amos is no longer with us. Zeus Tiny Lister is no longer with us, nor is A.J. Johnson. Folks, let's start appreciating some of these people while they're here, because life is short. And you notice with these type of talents, we're just not seeing that again. So we definitely want to say our part to rest in power, rest in paradise, rest on your throne, to James Earl Jones, John Amos, and Dikembe Mutombo. You know that we are your go-to on YouTube for Dallas Cowboy coverage. All Cowboys coverage throughout the season, as well as any and all Cowboys coverage in the offseason. We're going to continue right along with the 2024 Dallas Cowboys. Win 2015 in New Jersey, playing the New York Giants. Let's jump into our numbers here. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 22 of 27 attempts, 21 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Rico Dowdell, 11 carries, 46 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Jake Ferguson, 7 catches, 49 yards. Rico Dowdell, 1 catch, 15 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the defensive side, linebacker Eric Kendricks, 13 total tackles, 6 solo. DeMarvin Overshown, 8 total tackles, 6 solo. Folks, the Cowboys might have something here. Jordan Lewis, 5 total tackles, 5 solo. Malik Hooker, 5 total tackles, 5 solo. Donovan Wilson, 5 total tackles, 4 solo. Andrew Booth Jr., 4 total tackles, 4 solo. Osa Adigazua, 4 total tackles, 3 solo. Maris Leafau, 4 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Mozzie Smith, 3 total tackles, 2 solo, and 1 tackle for a loss. Marshawn Nealon, 3 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Micah Parsons, 2 total tackles, 2 solo. DeMarcus Lawrence, 2 total tackles, 1 solo, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for a loss. Folks, to really break down this game, there's really nothing much to break down. Cowboys won on the road after 2 shellackings at home against the Baltimore Ravens, even though the game was a little bit closer, but it was definitely a shellacking at home and getting ran off their own field by the New Orleans Saints. The Cowboys definitely needed this feel-good victory. A little close for comfort, but the Cowboys did everything that they had to do, allowing no touchdown and all field goals. And of course, we do not gloss over wins, nor do we overreact to losses. The Cowboys did what they had to do, going on the road against a divisional opponent who had won their previous game, and the Cowboys did what they had to do in order to win the football game. However, the Cowboys did not come out of that game unscathed. As you are well aware, DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be out for the foreseeable future with a Liz Frank injury, and Micah Parsons with a high ankle sprain. Don't know how long he's going to be out. If I had to guess, maybe about 3 to 4 weeks. Don't want Micah to come back. The other problem is, how effective will Micah be when trying to come back? That's a problem. Will he have the same explosiveness? Will he have, that quick burst that he has? I mean, he has that burst that either you have it or you don't. And of course, that's going to be missing going forward. Go into the game and understand that it is growing pains, but Tyler Guyton, he did not have his best football game, last Thursday. He did not have his best football game. Was getting whipped by Kayvon Thibodeau. And I believe looking at the metrics and Pro Football Focus or whatever they do to grade the players, he is pretty much rating bottom of the league. Again, he's a rookie playing left tackle. You're generally going to play a team's best pass rusher. There was such high hope, especially the job he did on Myles Garrett. He might have allowed 1 sack, but again, that's Myles Garrett, the reigning defense player of the year. But other than that, he has not played well, and it's only going to get worse, especially with the next point I want to talk about. So we felt that he needed to get some work. He definitely hope he's practicing hard, as we enter this Sunday's game. But he definitely did not play well, and we definitely have to overlook that. We cannot overlook that. The running game, the Cowboys have no running game. Again, your leading rusher is Rico Dowdle for 11 carries for 46 yards. But Jerry Jones would have you believe that he could not make a deal for Derrick Henry or any other available running back in the free agent market. And we bring back Ezekiel Elliott from all reports, and by the way, who had 5 carries, 19 yards. And by all reports, expecting Zeke to have a diminished role. Folks, when you're having 5 carries for 19 yards, that means your role is already diminished, which is what the hell was the point in bringing Ezekiel Elliott back in the first place, to give him a diminished role. Anybody watching Zeke know he's not the same player from 2016 to 2018. We saw in New England his worst offensive year. So we did a broadcast on that. Please go back and check the scrolls. That we did a broadcast on the lunacy of the Dallas Cowboys as to why would you bring back Ezekiel Elliott, and now he's going to have a diminished role. So what was the point of spending the money on Ezekiel Elliott when again he's going to have a diminished role? So that was a wasted signing. That's a problem. There was some other news this past week. Again, this is a rebroadcast of the previous broadcast that we did. It was just so much information, we just couldn't wait until the next game. And Devontae Adams apparently is on the trade market. And Jerry Jones' company line is, we're not going to make a deal for him. We're happy with the guys that we have, even though Brandon Cooks is not going to be out apparently. Don't know how long and don't know why, but he's going to be out. So now that's another weapon that's taken away from Dak Prescott. So you have a bunch of unproven guys and Flanoy and Jalen Tolbert versus just making a deal for a Devontae Adams. That means you have an established receiver outside of CeeDee Lamb to really scare defenses. Right now, outside of CeeDee Lamb and maybe Jake Ferguson, the Dallas Cowboys don't have a damn thing on offense. Jerry Jones, while you're landing helicopters at practice, and that seems to be what you wanted to do, and again, you're the owner of the team, but I want to call you to task because you can fly a damn helicopter, but you couldn't do any deals after going all in, because all in, well, we realized that all in was supposed to be do whatever these have to do. But in your case, it was going all in at a cost. So we see that Jerry definitely did not live up to his word about, quote, going all in, but it is what it is. So the Cowboys did what he had to do. 2015 win on the road against the New York Giants, and the Cowboys on the next road game are going to be traveling to Pittsburgh, the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way, with that great defense, with an offensive line that is shaky at best. And this kid, Tyler Guyton, is going to be going up against another former Defense Player of the Year in TJ Watt. And folks, if you think Kayvon Thibodeau ate this kid's lunch, what do you think TJ Watt is going to do? If you don't have anybody to scare a defense, what do you think of Minkah Fitzpatrick going to do? The Steelers, great defense. They are loaded. They have a quarterback who's not losing ball games. And the Cowboys can be beaten and can be taken to task by more mobile quarterbacks. Again, this is why we don't gloss over wins. There was a game that the Cowboys played against the Bears a couple of seasons ago. And even the Cowboys won the game, but Justin Fields was using his athleticism to make the game competitive. Now we're talking about he's on a team with a stellar defense, and the Cowboys are definitely going to have to bring their A game. So it's definitely not going to be easy traveling to Pittsburgh on Sunday night. So it is what it is. Cowboys need to suck it up. And, of course, Cowboys make no deals for no defensive ends to replace a DeMarcus Lawrence and a Micah Parsons. They signed some guy who was off of, I'm going to say, either the Chiefs or the Bengals practice squad. Never heard of this guy. Don't bring in any names of value. They're waiting on a Marshawn Nealon to now step up, as a rookie. You just saw Sam Williams went down for the season. So the Cowboys right now is relying on a lot of unknown and unproven players to make things happen. Is that a recipe for success? History tells me no, but that's why they play the game, and that's why it's coaching. So we definitely wanted to put this broadcast out before the next game. We already had recorded a broadcast with all the different events that came out. We had to just re-record and definitely do another broadcast. So thank you for being patient with us. Thank you for your continued support. And until the next time, Chin Check Sports Radio, signing out.